Hello and welcome back, MC1 Gamer here, bringing you another video about 3D printing. So I promised that I would do a follow-up with some of the latest prints, and I wanted to follow through on that. So a number of people have asked me about, just to show some of the stuff when it's a little bit more complete, when I've done a little bit more work with them, and I just wanted to show you what I've got going on. You probably hear a little bit of sound in the background, which is my printer going. I'm actually starting to print an observatory, which is going to be a couple of days printing. But so some stuff that you might have seen already. You might have seen this particular one here, which I put some tabs up top here so that I can easily put the roof on and remove it. It's got plenty of space in there if you want to fit a couple of minis. This is called a bridge cottage. I'm not really sure what a bridge cottage is. It looks like maybe a stream goes through here. Door seems to be kind of a little high. Maybe you need a ladder or a rope ladder or something like that to get up there, but it looks really good on the table. So printed that. This is one that we have seen before. This is a pretty elaborate build. This one took several days, and it has a number of features. So again, the top comes off, so you can put guys in there. You got this piece that comes off, so some guys in the shed. A couple pieces here come off, so you can put some guys there and some guys there. So there's a lot of areas so that this thing could be garrisoned, which, I just did a quick, I guess, coat of gray just to make that one work. I think we've seen a few of these. Okay, I'm going to get into the screen here. This one kind of finished out some of the rocks. Obviously I haven't painted them up, but this one came out really nice. So I'm really happy with that. I'm going to go around this side, see if I don't block my lighting. There we go. Alright, so I put on some of these, the 8th edition movement trays. This is the newer one. This actually the centerpiece again fell off, which, kind of stinks, but managed to get it glued down, and I'm going to put some road in here in the actual center, so it looks like this is a well-traveled, and then some, flocking and grass, sand, whatever on this side. But this is a pretty nice sister build to this one, which is the ruined one, which has a lot of pieces that have fallen and plenty of damage, a lot of the pieces that are falling off to the side. So these two will this is not a how shall I put it, one of those arches or portals. It's an arch, but it's it's a nice piece of terrain with enough room for things to sit on it, and I think that these two actually make for a nice piece on opposite sides of the board, maybe on the opposite sides of a road. A couple of newer pieces, which I think just came out really, really nicely. Just some basic walls. You can take a look. They've got some piece here so that you can try, I guess you could file some of this edge down. You can see it kind of bends out, and then connect these. So there's a lot of different versions. These are all, I think this might be completely flat, or you can just file maybe this piece down here so that you can have a, right angle. But several different versions, even some ruined ones, which I like. And this is not all the files. There's might be about 5 or 6 more of these I haven't done. The ones that you haven't seen are the blacksmithy and the tavern. Now, I'm going to first start with the blacksmithy. These have not been completed. I hope I don't mess this up. Oh, already did. This is the blacksmithy first level. You can see that there's a forge here, bellows on this side here, right there. And then here's the forge. There's even a little bucket here. And then you could put a well in the center area here. There's a front door and window, a little area there, and then it actually comes. Now I have two colors because I ran out of black. I haven't ordered any new black yet. But again, this is all going to get base coated, and then it has the roof, which is going to be removable. So that is the forge, and this was several pieces. So you got the 2 pieces that make up the main piece. You can see where the seam is. You had this main piece here that connected, this roof here, and then this roof I believe is one piece. My bed is big enough that I can actually handle all of that. and I think it just came out really nicely. It's got this little shed piece in the back here, little extension, but you know, blacksmithy. I think it looks really nice. So that's that one. This one's going to be harder. I'm actually going to have to move the camera a little bit to try and get that one. This one over here is a tavern, and it's kind of huge, so forgive me if this is going to like shake everyone's world, but I want to get down to a little bit lower level, so I'm going to lower the stand a little bit. So if this is a little bit shaky, again, forgive me. Let's see if we can make this work. Oh, it's failing already. There we go. Get down to a little bit closer level. There we go. Perfect. All right. Now this one, this is pretty big. All right. So here's my hand. You can see just how big this thing is. It's and I don't have little hands like Trump, so all right. So this is a multi-tiered tavern. This is a 3-tiered tavern. I'm going to start taking pieces off. This top piece is actually 2 pieces that I've adhesed. I use an epoxy, and you know, it's probably about, I don't know, about 10 inches long, I'd say, maybe a little longer. And I'm going to have some pieces that I can actually put in here that will have it situated. I'm going to have some pegs. This next tier is 2nd floor. You can put some figures in here. It's not terribly tall for the larger figures, especially monstrous figures, but it's not really meant for that. But they'll fit fairly well with this top roof on. So this piece comes off, and this has also been adhesed. There's a roof here that I'm probably gonna make this, you know, permanent, even though it's hard to access in here. And again, I haven't adhesed all of these. This is more of a, I don't know, it looks like this is for maybe for horses, you know, feeding area. And another entrance over here. And then another roof, which again is multi-part. You can see how many parts it takes. Some of these take 5 or 8 or even 12 hours to make. This one was probably a good 5-hour build, just this piece. Then this is a 3-part piece, so you can see how it breaks apart. And these are all going to be adhesed. But you got a front door, window, side doors. Looks like an area for stockpiling wood on the side here. And a back area here to walk to, again, where livestock or horses, I guess, or whatever are feeding. For all I know, could be for chickens. I don't know. But even so, we have, I'm going to start stacking this up again. And again, all these pieces are going to be removable, and they're going to fit nice and flush. Let's see if I can do this without it all collapsing. This is not ready for table yet, because, you know, I don't have all the pegs and stuff to keep pieces in place. This roof's going to be on here permanent, because there's just no reason not to. And then that piece there. And look, hey, it worked. So I did that. So there it is. That's the tavern, and it's a pretty nice piece. Now I'm going to go and unhinge the phone here if I can, and I'll try to get a little bit of a different view, so we can actually see a little bit more of what that looks like there. And I think that's just a gorgeous piece. All right, so the last one I'm going to show. Okay, let's see if we can get this side here. Here we go. So the last one I'm going to show is this one here. I'll pull this one forward. Take the top off. This is kind of a Viking or a Norse house. It's a pretty sizable piece. I mean, you know, I think we have maybe about 7, maybe 8 inches of length here. The width of this, and this is pretty good. Look at the detail inside. You know, there's on this side here, this hasn't been painted. There's just fish that maybe is recently caught. All these nettings here. This is going to look great when it's painted. Of course, you've got your stonework at the bottom. More. Let's see what those are. Not really able to tell from here. Let's see. I don't know. But some stuff that's hanging, maybe a pot that's hanging. Maybe this is silverware or whatever. And then this actually is built, really nice design with pegs already inserted into it in the build. I didn't have to put those in there. And the roof has the associated ones, which I think are great. This roof is also one piece. You can see how cleanly it came out. This is completely smooth. You can see all the layers, but still. And then there's just some nice, look at that wolf head that's on the front there. And then it looks like a stag horn, you know, just adorning that part. And then it's got this little piece here. But it's got all these different features, you know, this is all woodwork logs, and then other material that maybe had been plastered over it, and obviously other things that are, this is not a damaged piece, this is intentional, this is stuff that's coming out of the seams in between the boards. You know, so this will situate like this, and this looks like some kind of a house, maybe not a long house, it's not a Viking longhouse or anything, but you know, it looks really nice. And look at this, it's just it's a huge piece. It's bigger than the blacksmithing, or you know, roughly about the same size, but the roof is bigger. But this is some of what, you know, what I've printed out in 3D printing. And I will say this, you know, there's some people that have been inquiring about actually getting some of this stuff printed. You know, you buy the file, and I'll print as many of them as you want, you know, if we can come up to a price just for the time on print and material. Realize it's not that cheap. This stuff, some of these things can take 30, 40, 50 hours, even more. Some of these builds are incredibly, you know, difficult because sometimes they fail. It does happen. I've had like 10 prints run in a row, and then 2 or 3 fail consecutively, and I run through like a quarter of the spool. You know, it requires a lot of time and a lot of tinkering and a lot of calibration. But, you know, hey, if you want to go buy a printer and go and get these files, this is all stuff from printablescenery.com. And I absolutely cannot suggest this enough. And again, if you wanted to have me print some of this stuff out for you for your tabletop gaming, I would encourage you to buy the file from them and then contact me, and I'll get stuff printed out for you if you don't have a printer. I don't want to go ahead and I'm not going to go and print stuff out without directing people towards the actual the licensees, the developers of these files. They, you know, that's how they make their money, and they deserve it. So don't, if you ever do this, don't do an end run around those guys. They're good people, and they you know, they're making some incredible designs, and these are some of the best designs I'm seeing out there on the market, and I've been looking. And there's another one that it's going to be coming up that I'm going to be doing. That's Z1 Designs. They're doing some modern stuff that I'm going to be doing for the Marvel miniature game and some zombie games. But this stuff is going to be relegated very specifically to Age of Sigmar and other fantasy games like Frostgrave, and whether you want to do tabletop role-playing or whatnot. This is just a portion of it. Obviously, if you've seen any of the other videos that I have, there's a whole bunch of other ones that I've printed out. That's it. So if you have any questions on 3D printing, I've learned a ton. There's still plenty to learn, but if this is something that you're interested in, let me know. I'll go ahead and do a video with any questions people have, and you know, give you any insights I have if you're looking to get started. And again, if you're looking to kind of just, you know, rent my printer, contact me, and we'll figure it out. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and I look forward to the next one where you're showing this stuff in some more games. Look out for my battle reports that I've already put up a few of with this stuff on the board, as well as some others that are coming up with some new stuff that's being printed out. Have a great day, everybody.